today we are going to cover about equation of lines parallel to axis. Okay, line parallel to axis. So there are two axes when you are in your Cartesian plane. Okay, there's x-axis and the another one is the y-axis. Okay, when we draw the Cartesian plane, there's two axes. So Shazan has come or not? I asked for 2 minutes. Okay. So
I'm back. Yes, you can start.
Okay. So it is x o x dash and y o y dash. So we have two axes, that is x-axis and y-axis. Okay. The point which lies on the x-axis, for that point y is equal to 0, and the point that lies on y-axis, x is equal to 0. Okay. So that means here, if I am talking about this particular point, I'll use a different color. If I'm talking about this particular point, then what will be its value? If I'm assuming it is a, this particular point, this is marked at a, so it will be a comma 0. And if I'm assuming that this is b, so b is if I'm assuming that this point is b on y-axis, so it will be 0 comma b. Okay, understood? So I'm talking about the line which is parallel to the axis. Okay, now parallel to the axis, if I'm talking about line, so this line will be parallel to which axis? Can you tell me? This line is parallel to which axis?
Ma'am, x-axis, x1 and x2.
This line is parallel to to x-axis. And if I'm talking about this line, so this line is parallel to
ma'am, y and
y-axis. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about these lines which are parallel to x. That means the one of the point is 0. Either x is 0 or either y is 0. Okay. So how we are going to solve those equations, or what will be the equation? Okay. And since if you see here that here x let me give you a brief picture here only. Okay, now in the Cartesian, as I told you, the parallel lines. Okay, so you can see here for the point whose coordinate is 0, that is y coordinate is 0. Okay, y coordinate is 0, that means the point is lying on the x-axis that I showed you, this particular point. Okay, if you mark it as you can say p, so this p point I'm talking about here, your y-axis is 0 and a is 0. So equation of this line will be what? Y is equal to 0. Okay, the equation of the line will be what? Y is equal to 0. Okay? Now you see here I have written already. Okay, and moreover you have to just check that if a is greater than 0, if the value of the a is greater than 0, then the line parallel to y-axis on right hand side. Okay, means a is greater than 0, then it will be on the positive side of the x-axis. Okay, that's I'm trying to say. And if a is less than 0, then it will be on negative side of y-axis. Similar for b also. Okay, if 0 for this point, you could see point q, if b is greater than 0, then the point will, the line parallel to the x-axis will lie above the x, means on the positive side of the y-axis. Okay, and if b is less than 0, then it will lie on the negative side of the x-axis. And this equation of this line is, which is parallel to x-axis, it will be x is equal to 0. Okay, and for this it will be y is equal to 0. Okay, now if you see here, y is equal to 0. This is for one way, means if you are expressing it one variable. Okay, so y is equal to 0. But if you need to express the same equation in two variable, then what you will do? Y is equal to 0. That means y is something, so you can represent, see, it's written here. I have marked this. If you read the portion, the equation of x-axis in one variable is y is equal to 0. And equation of x-axis in two variable is what? 0.x plus 1 dot y is equal to 0. Okay, because here in this equation y is equal to 0 means x is not having any value. Okay, so we are going to multiply x to 0. Okay, x means having value, but here it is not mentioned. That means we'll multiply x with 0, so it is just 0. Whole number is, the whole thing is 0. When you multiply any number, किसी भी number को अगर आप 0 से multiply करते हो, so that will give you 0. Okay, so if the equation is written y is equal to 0, so you can write it as 0 dot x plus 1 dot y is equal to 0. Okay, this way you're not adding extra term. This term is actually 0 only. Okay, so that will not alter your equation. Understood? The same way, x is equal to 0 can be written as x 1 dot x plus 0 dot y is equal to 0. Okay, it can be written as this way. Okay, do you have any doubt or not? Okay, that's good. So now let's see some of the equations here, how to solve it. Okay, for example, if you see x minus a, now in your examination, the equation can be given and it can ask you to express this at one variable. Okay, to draw the graph as one variable and to express the same equation in two variables. So what is the means how you are going to solve it? Like for example, it is written x minus a is equal to 0. X minus a is equal to 0. So x minus a is equal to 0 means what? You can write it as x is equal to a. Am I right? Okay. So x has a single value. That is x is equal to a. Only this value is there. Okay. It is a single solution. If you express this as a one variable, if you express this equation as a one variable, so for one variable, only single solution is there. Okay, in equation one variable has how many solution? One solution.
That's
So it will
one.
yeah, so it will be having one solution, that is x is equal to a. And how you're going to express this on a number line? Just simple, it can be expressed on number line x 0 x dash. Okay, now it can be 1 2 3, okay, like this. And for example, if a is equal to 3, so I'm going to mark it here, and this is what x is equal to a. Okay, now how you are going to solve this equation in a two variable? How you're going to plot the graph for same equation in two variable? How you're going to do? You are going to just change it as 1 dot x, or you can just simply write 1x or only x only, because everybody in this already know that, which is what x minus what x plus 0 dot y minus a is equal to 0. So this is for the two variable. Understood? Now, if you see here, so x value will always be a only, but for any value of y, you can keep y, means different y you can keep. Either you keep 1, then also it will give you a solution. 2, 3, y can have any value, because whatever you keep in y side, okay, what is the value of y? It will always be 0. For example, if I'm assuming y as 1, 2, 3, just example. So what will be the solution? It will always give you x is equal to a for all the three values, because whenever you whichever value you keep for y, it will always be 0, because this is multiplied by 0. Okay, so y can be varied, but x will always be equal to a. Okay, so the solution you can write it as a comma r, where r is a natural number, or you can say an integer. Okay, natural number, integer you can write. Okay, r can be an integer, any integer. Okay, so for different various y, it will be their different various y value, it will be satisfied. Okay, any doubt in this?
No, ma'am.
Advika, Shazan, Razi, anybody, any doubt? Sharia,
Please just can you explain once again?
once again. Okay, so have you understood it? X minus a as one variable, Shazan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now in two variables. So in two variable, how many variables should be there, sir, Shazan? One or two?
Ma'am, so
2. So
Two
always
solutions
when
are
we are using two variables, so the two variables that we use, that is x and y. Okay, we don't use a third one. Okay, always in two variable we generally use x and y. So x is already there. In your equation is x minus a is equal to 0. This equation is already given. Okay, this is given. Now how can you write it in a two variable? The second variable we cannot just bring it like that. हम कहीं से भी second variable नहीं ला सकते, because it is a mathematical equation, isn't it? So we cannot just bring like that and put it here. कहीं से भी कोई भी value ला के नहीं रख सकते. So how can I make this as a second? I mean, how can I bring a second variable in this equation? Thing we are using a concept, a common sense thing, that whenever we multiply any value with this,
Oh, ma'am, I understood. You bring 0 and put into y. Okay.
yeah, so we are multiplying. Actually, we are assuming that the coefficient of the variable y is 0. This 0 dot y means this is a coefficient. This 0 is the coefficient of y. So we are assuming that coefficient of y is 0. That's why the y is being neglected. Okay, because that whole term becomes 0. So here, if I put 0 dot y in this equation, x minus is equal to 0, nothing will be changed. Okay, but for two variable, if we are finding the value for two variable, so we can put any value of y, but x value will always be 0. For example, you see x plus 0 dot 1 minus a is equal to 0. So what will be the value? 0 dot 1 will obviously give you 0. So x minus a is equal to 0. So x is equal to a. Again, if you keep the value of y as 2, so it will be 0 multiplied by 2 minus a is equal to 0. So x minus a is equal to 0 again. So x is equal to a. Okay. So this equation for the value of x will always be a only. Okay. But value of y will keep on changing. This equation will actually be satisfied for every value of y. Understood? Well, y की हर value के लिए equation satisfied होगा, but for x only a value will satisfy the equation. Understood? Now, Shazan, is your doubt clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's see one question. Okay, if you have still any doubt, it will be clear. Now, you see the first equation is x is equal to 4. Okay,
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I will take x minus 4 into 0 into y.
x is equal to 4 if I say. So if I'm going to express it as one variable, so I can just simply represent one number line. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. And this x is equal to 4 is a solution. Okay. Now, if I'll express the same equation in two variables, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do plus 0 dot y is equal to 4. Okay. This way will be the equation. Now, I need to find various points to plot on the graph. Now, various point can be what? X will always be 4. You can keep different values of y. We always, whenever we are plotting the graph, I told you, always make the equation in form of y is equal to mx. So if I'm going to change as y is equal to mx, so it will be 4 minus x. Okay. Now I will find the, am I right? Yeah. Now if I'm going to find the value of here, in fact, when it is multiplied by 0, then you don't need to do this also, okay, because you already know whichever value for y you are going to keep, you'll get x, okay. So you don't need to do this step, okay. You can just skip this step, okay. But when you are solving any general equation, okay, then you are going to always put the equation in this format, okay. So here, if we put y, I'm just drawing the checking for points, x, y, okay. Now if I'm keeping y 1, so your value of x is 4. If I'm keeping y 2, x value is 4. If I'm keeping y minus 1, value of x is 4. If I'm keeping y minus 2, value of x is 4. Now how the graph will look like? So see the graph, how the graph will look like. 1, 2, 3.
Ma'am, it will be like one.
It will be a parallel line.
Yes, no parallel.
Because for
The value of y increases, but not for x.
yes, the value of y is increasing because it is satisfying y. Every value will be satisfied, but
That's
x only single value will be satisfied. So for 1, wait, y is equal to 1, x is equal to 4. Okay. Now y is equal to 2, x is equal to 4. Y is equal to minus 1, minus 1, x is equal to 4. Y is equal to minus 2, x is equal to 4. So these are the points. Okay. If I represent with different line, these are your points. Okay. Okay. So everybody understood? This, because here y is equal to 0, it is x is equal to 4 is the line, so this will be parallel to y axis. This line will be parallel to y axis. Okay, and the solution, if you go for one variable, only single solution is there, but for 2 variable there are infinite solution, but x only one value will satisfy the equation, that is 4, and for y every value will satisfy the equation. Okay, similarly, if you see the equation here, second one, x plus 1 is equal to 0. X plus 1 is equal to 0. That means you can write it as x is equal to minus 1. Am I right? So the equation that will, the value that will satisfy this equation in one variable is minus 1. Okay. But if you go for 2 variable, a line, since a value is less than, minus 1 is what? Less than 0. So the line will be parallel to x, will be parallel to y axis, but it will be on the which side? Left hand side, okay, on the negative side of the x-axis, because x value will always be minus 1, okay, and y every value will satisfy the equation. Okay, understood? Any doubt, anybody? Let's see. See, this is the equation, this is the graph. In fact, the question for x plus 1 is equal to 0. You can see the graph is drawn on the negative side of the x-axis. Okay, and for different points, we have got all the x value will always be minus 1, and y you can just keep at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 1, minus 5, minus 6, whichever value you feel like. Okay. Now similarly, let's check for equation of line parallel to x-axis. When the equation of line is parallel to x-axis, for example, y minus b is equal to 0. So you can write this as y is equal to b. Okay, so this equation will be satisfied for with all the values of x, but for y only b will satisfy the equation. Okay, so whatever ordinate pairs that you will be forming, that will always be of the form as r comma b. Okay, r will be any integer. You can see here, if it is treated as an equation in one variable y only, then it has a unique solution, y is equal to b, which you can see in the equation. Okay, like a linear equation one variable has only one solution, but linear equation two variable have infinite solution. Okay, for different values of x, you can find different values of y correspondingly. Okay, if it is treated as an equation in two variable x and y, then it can be written as 0.x plus 1.y minus b is equal to 0. It has infinitely many solution of the form r comma b, where r is any real number. Okay, okay, for any real number, this satisfies the equation. Also, we can say that lie on the line, which is good. Okay, now the equation here is what? 3y minus 3. See, the equation here is 3y minus, this is color visible. 3y minus 3 is equal to 13 minus y. Okay, now you can see here only single variable is here. Two variables are not here. Okay, so how can you write it? It can be written as 3y 20 plus, so it will be 4y. So this can be written as 4y is equal to 16. So y is equal to 4. Okay, y is equal to 4. So if you draw the, if it is asked you for single variable, if you have to show, then it will be just a single point, 0, 1, 3, 4, minus 1, minus 2. So it will be just 4. This point will be there. Okay, everybody. Now, if you will see as an equation, so it will be what? 0 comma x plus y is equal to 4. This will be your equation. Okay, now if you will draw the graph for this equation, first let's plot the point. Well, just find out the points. Since you can see For y, always the value will be 4, and you get whichever value you keep for x. Okay, so you can keep -1, 0, 1, 2, and y will always be 4. Okay, now if you will draw the graph here, if you are going to draw the graph here, so it will be,
Again, it will be a parallel line.
yeah, it will be a parallel line. But this time, since the equation is in y form, the line will be parallel to which axis? X axis. 3,
This one will be parallel to x-axis.
-2, -3, -2, 1, 3, 4, -1, -2, 3, -4. X dash y, y dash. Always write all the things, okay, whenever you are plotting the points, okay. So y will always be 4, okay. But this value of 1, you can say -1, it will be somewhat here. Use different color, somewhat here, okay. Now 0, 4, it will be here. 1, 4, it will be here, and 2, 4, it will be a line parallel to x-axis, okay. And equation of the line is, sorry, y is equal to 4. Not y is equal to 4, it will be 0.x plus y is equal to 4. Okay, but this line will be parallel to x-axis. Understood? Any doubt?
Yeah, ma'am.
And here we have completed this chapter, that is linear equation in 2 variables. So anybody facing any issue in the 4 chapters that we have completed? Today I will not start the second chapter, means the new chapter just now. I'll be starting in the next class. Okay, so if you have any doubts, let's discuss. I will be just very small
No
discussion.
doubts are there.
Okay, and before starting the new chapter, I think that we should go for a test also, because polynomial test is also due. Okay, yeah. So in the next class, you will be having a polynomial test. Okay. After that only, I will start with the new chapter. And in fact, your linear equation is also completed, so that test will also be pending. So that will be also going. Okay. And next chapter, anybody has gone through that next chapter? Euclid geometry. Anybody has seen that chapter? Anyone in your NCRT
But
book?
today I'll do and tell you, okay, ma'am.
You will find all the handouts also. I have already uploaded the handouts. Just
Okay,
go through in
Ma'am,
this.
I can complete Euclid geometry just a minute.
Nothing is there. Only postulate and axiom. Euclid has described many postulate and many axioms. Okay, postulates are the mean statements, or you can say what they are only for geometrical purpose. Okay, axiom that is used whole in the whole mathematics. Okay, in algebra, whatever. Okay, these are statements that are means that are true statement, universal truth. Okay, the common sense statements. Okay, there's nothing big. In fact, you have 5 postulates and 7 axioms in your this chapters. Okay, you just have to learn them, and not much questions will come. 1 or 2 marks question is only going to be covered up in your exam also, because nothing complicated is there. Okay, you are going to use this postulate or axiom in your geometry, okay, or in your mathematics, like something like if A is equal to B. Okay, if A is equal to B and B is equal to C, so is it a common sense or not that A will be equal to C? Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Like these things, it is the statements are there. Okay, if A is equal to B, okay, A is equal to B, and I'm adding a quantity on both the sides, the same quantity. Like A is equal to B, so A plus C will be equal to B plus C or not? A is side. Wait, I'm writing here. I'm writing A is equal to B. Okay, so anybody can tell me or not that A plus C will be equal to B plus C or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, why? Because A was equal to B, and I'm adding the same quantity on both the
So,
sides.
we need to
These
add
type of
sides.
statements and these type of instructions are there in your postulate and axiom in your next chapter. Nothing much is there. We can complete that whole chapter in 1 day only. Okay, those postulates and axiom Euclid used to derive new postulates, new theorems, in fact, in your geometry and all. Okay, there's nothing big in that. Okay, so these general statements are in fact, if you see in mathematics, many times we add something when we were rationalizing our term. What we did, we just to the reverse of that term, उसके reverse से sign reverse करके हम लोग multiply कर देते हैं on up down. Okay, why? Because that will not alter your question answer. Okay, because when we are multiplying, at the same time we are dividing also. Okay, so that is equal to only 1. Okay, that's why your answer will not change. Okay, like here, to prove something, we sometimes add half, but on both the side. If we are doing on both the side or in both numerator and denominator, the answer is not going to change. So that is perfectly okay. In your mathematics, many times we do that. Okay, and till now, any issue in your linear equation 2 variable or in graph? Shazan, you were saying you were having, and Razi, you were also having problem in your statement form when you are converting a statement into a. So have you brought some questions?
Ma'am, I'm fine with it.
Okay, so were you able to do the assignments? I think assignment, not much questions were there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, there were easy questions. In fact, some of the questions I discussed in the last class also. There was easy one. Okay, in your NCRT also, if you go through, if you face any problem, then we can have a discussion on those questions. Okay, in polynomial, do you have any questions? And yeah, next text will be of polynomial because real number we have already covered. Polynomial will be there, and coordinate geometry will already be covered in your linear equation. Okay, so I will be taking a one test only. Okay, because coordinate geometry we have just studied about the Cartesian plane. What is a Cartesian plane? How to plot the points. Okay, and that is all covered in your this chapter, linear equation two variables. Some of the basic terms will be there, so that I will add in the same question paper. Okay. Anything else?
No, ma'am.
No. So let's do some of the questions only. Okay. Let me see if I can answer it. Okay, it is not done. Okay, just a minute. Give me some time. 1 minute. Okay. Linear equation. Okay. So everybody has completed this assignment, LEQ-A2. Any
No,
doubt?
ma'am. No, ma'am. No, I'll just go through it. I have gone through the assignment. I have done some questions. Like the 10 questions I have done.
Okay, then let's see some quick discussion on the new chapter only. I thought to cover up the points. Okay, can you tell me, everybody? I think all are CBSE only. So when you are having Razi, Shazan, Advika,
Ma'am, I'm having pre-midterm next month.
September, you are having a September. You are having
No.
a
Yes, ma'am. I'm having in September also and July also.
Okay, July you are having your
Pre-mid.
payments. So which chapters are coming?
Ma'am, number system, factorization, and exponents of real power.
Number system, factorization. Only number system is coming. That means.
Yes, ma'am. For us,
Okay,
it is
and,
exponents.
how many chapters will be covered in your till half yearly? Can you tell me?
Ma'am, half yearly, it is Euclid's geometry is also coming, but I will tell you.
I think more than Euclid geometry, it will go till quadrilateral maybe. Advika, in your school, do you know?
Most of the chapters I eliminated the important chapters like construction.
Yes, ma'am, even for us, like these important topics are there.
So until half yearly, how many chapters your school is going to
Ma'am,
cover?
linear equation, two variable, coordinate geometry, Euclid geometry, lines and angles.
Geometry, yes, ma'am.
Till quadrilaterals? Because
And
I'm just
congruent
wanting to
triangles
like before you
and
exam,
Heron's
we
formula
should cover
and
all
graphical
the
representation data.
and your test is also over, so that's why I just wanted to confirm that I cover all the topics before you exam. Okay, because at the time of exam you need more practices, more question papers to be solved.
Ma'am, like right now in school, we're doing Heron's formula.
The voice is not clear, Advika. Okay, so we should cover that one. And construction is deleted from your syllabus, Shazan.
Ma'am, most of the chapter in construction and that volume surface area of solid, this was not there. Is surface area and volume of cuboid, cube, right circular cylinder, tabular representation of statistical data, and measures of central tendency
All these
probability.
things are deleted. So what they are covering is only few chapters.
Parallelogram and triangle also not there. Triangle and angle is also not there.
Lines and
They
angles.
say that they say that you will study in 10, so that is why we are eliminating the chapters for 9.
In fact, most of the chapters he told me that it has been deleted lines and angles. You don't need triangles also.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, no problem, but we will be covering here. Okay, that will be good for you. Okay, some basic things should be covered up because right now when you're studying now, so you will feel like that where it is used. Okay, but it is not like that. Many things we use everywhere. Okay, like coordinate geometry.
And on 10 is boards also, so if we cover it right now, so we'll not have problem in class 10.
Yeah, of course that because the triangles, the basic properties like you are basic in the triangle. When I started in class 9, I think I started from BPT theorem. Okay, just similarity of the triangle we have covered, but the basic triangles, that how the triangles are there, how different types of triangle, what are the different properties that can be used in a triangle. So all those things should be covered up. Okay, so we will be covering all your chapters that are mentioned here in your syllabus section. Okay, I'll be covering all of them. So we have already done the linear equation two variable and the introduction to Euclid geometry is also, you can say that it is covered because nothing not there. Okay, so we are remaining with lines and angles, triangles, quadrilaterals. Okay, and rest are also there. We'll be covering slowly and slowly. Okay, let's see. So let's come to the Euclid geometry. Okay, so Euclid geometry, the word you can say geometry, okay, comes from a Greek word, as you can see here, geo, which means the earth, and means measuring the earth. Okay, how you're going to measure the earth. Geometry, actually geometry is where you are going to use. Okay, so the application of geometry is where for constructions and all. Yes, that's why I tell you how to trigonometry, how they are going to use trigonometry. Always when you see the questions that the girl of this height and it is that the stairs are leaning on the or tower or like this questions. Okay, so for measurement and all these things, this geometry I use. Okay, how you're going to construct. Okay, in engineering. Okay, the architecture field, this geometry is mainly used in architecture field. Okay, what are your everybody aims? Okay, just quickly discuss it. Okay, like Razi, I'll start from Razi because in my screen Razi is first. So Razi, what are you thinking in future? What you have decided? Yeah, that you're going to take math side, bio side, you want to become engineer, doctor, any other field? What you have decided?
Mama, I'll take maths.
Okay. What are your goals to become? And
Mom, my father said to go for IIT.
okay, and what is your means from inside? What you are feeling?
Mom, I think bio.
You think bio? So have you discussed with your father that my interest is bio?
Mom, I told him, he said, I will tell you later about this.
Okay. So there's no issue, okay? But whatever you are, Razi, deciding, either you're going for bio or maths, okay? Be confirmed that you give your 100% there, okay? Because if you are giving your 100%, okay, that will not let you fail, okay? आपको फेल नहीं करेगी वो चीजें, ठीक है? वो आपको मे बी, लेकिन ये होता है ना कि when we do something that are of our interest, then we give more of our, we give more than 100%. If you are interested, then we like it also. So if you are very much interested for going for bio and doing medical or in that field, you can convince your father. And if you are not able to convince and you are still going for your IIT, then give you 100%. Okay, that's it. I'll say. Okay, because whether you study for, you have to go till 12th. Okay, and physics, chemistry will always be there. Only the option will be maths and bio. Okay, and by maths, I tell you what I felt as a student when I was studying, that maths was easier than physics. Okay, because if you study maths, you know differentiation, differential, and integration, and all these things are used in your physics. Okay, so if you go for bio, these things become a little tough for physics part. Okay, but mechanics become easy when you are choosing maths. So everybody has every. And Shazan, now what is your aim?
Ma'am, I want to become a scientist or a nautical engineer.
So aeronautical engineer, that means you are going to choose engineering. Okay, that means you have to.
I know, I want to be a science student.
So that's what I'm saying. See, aeronautical engineer, that means you are not going to leave mathematics. You are going to leave bio.
No. Yeah, I'm going to leave bio. Bio is actually very irritating.
Very irritating. But you have to study till 12. So be focused till 12. Okay, because school maths.
Till 10.
Yeah, sorry, next till 10. Sorry. 11, 12, you'll be having that. Okay, so you'll have to focus in that. Okay, and Anna.
Ma'am, I want to become a teacher or a physicist. Oh, and I want to go to MIT
Okay,
or
so
become
you
an
want to
engineer.
research in physics. Yeah, that's very
Yes.
good option. Okay, so your main field is like physics. Okay, but don't leave other
I'm
subjects.
just going to the washroom once again.
Okay, go. Advika, what do you want to become in your future? Are you there, Advika?
Ma'am, probably scientist.
Yeah, that's very good one. So scientist, which field you are going to choose? Physics, chemistry, which one?
Ma'am, chemistry. Ma'am, biology or chemistry, maybe one of them.
Okay,
I'm
so
not sure.
you are going to drop maths.
No, ma'am, I'll continue maths.
Till 12th, you are going to continue. After that, you will decide it. Okay.
Oh,
In
yes,
fact, in
ma'am.
India, we have limited options. In foreign, we have so many different options, so many variety of choosing different subjects. Okay. But if you're studying in India only, okay, be confirmed. And always, I'll tell you one thing, that always give you 100%, whatever you're studying. Okay. And some of the things you feel like that when you're studying like mathematics only, they are different fields. Okay. You have algebra, you have geometry, you have arithmetics. Okay. Sometimes it is there that you can do some part very nicely, but some part you lack. Okay, so it's not that leave that part, but what is good in you, always practice that. Okay, क्योंकि वो आपको maximum number दिला सकता है, लेकिन जिसमें आप लैक कर रहे हो उसको भी उतना टाइम दो. Okay, क्योंकि जो आपको आता है उसमें आप लेस टाइम दोगे तो भी आप कवर अप कर लोगे. ठीक है, लेकिन जो आपको नहीं आता है उसमें बस आपको प्रैक्टिस ज्यादा करनी होती है. Okay, because we don't know or we don't like, this is not there. Okay, you just have to give you 100% of practice thing. Mainly whatever you study, everybody as a student, whatever you're studying, either you're choosing physics, chemistry, math, everything is on practice. Whenever you feel like that the subject you don't like, okay, but you start practicing that or start reading it, or somebody is there to explain the things, then you will feel like it was the nicest subject. Okay, maths. Who likes maths? Okay, whose maths is favorite subject? Razi, Shazan, I think.
Mine.
Why you like maths? Can you tell me?
Ma'am, because you get to know new things every day. Yeah, I learn new things every day.
Don't you feel like that practicing, there are so many numericals, or why to practice?
No. I like to practice.
Yeah, because you like to practice. Okay, you get so many numericals. In fact, you like calculating them. You like because there are no more much of definitions. Okay, so there are different choices. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
First, I used to hate
I
maths.
used to like maths.
I used to think that maths is a headache.
Yeah, but how this opinion changed that maths is not a headache, because you started practicing it. Okay,
Yes.
same way, whenever you feel that this portion I don't like or this subject I don't like, start giving more time to that subject or start trying to understand it. Okay, you have to discuss about that. subject. Okay, try to discover about various points that you don't understand. Then you will feel like it is not tough. You will start liking it, and more than the other things. Okay, always remember this. Okay, and try to focus on each other thing. If there are 10 chapters, you can leave one. That is not a big thing. If you're preparing for IIT, okay, if you're preparing for any big exam, everybody don't cover the 100%, okay, because if you go
Yes,
for
ma'am.
100%, sometimes it is there we lack, okay,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
everybody, some are there who practice for 100% also, but we should see ourselves also where we can give our most strength. Okay, sometimes there are some chapters which we find very hard. Okay, so you can leave one chapter or 1.5 chapters. Okay, but try to cover up the main one. Okay, and especially the ones who have a great weightage in your examination. Okay, some chapters are there that have a great weightage. Okay, don't leave them. Okay, ऐसे chapters मत cover करना जो कि कम marks रखते हैं. वो तो कवर करना ही करना है आपको, लेकिन जो ज्यादा वेटेज रखते हैं that also you have to cover. Okay,
Ma'am, I practice the chapters which gets more marks, which gives
Yeah.
me more marks.
that is best. Okay, and पहले उन पे ध्यान देना, उसके बाद लेस मार्क्स वाले भी आपको कवर सब करना
Because
है.
हम less marks वाले जो chapters होते हैं मैम, वो easy रहते हैं.
या जनरली दे आर इजी, तो उसको बाद में फोकस, वो अपने आप हो ही जाते हैं. ठीक है, लेकिन ये नहीं कि आप उसको छोड़ दो. ओके, नेवर थिंक दैट वी कैन लीव इट, ये बहुत इजी है तो हम छोड़ ही सकते हैं. एंड ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस इज आल्सो बैड एंड लेस कॉन्फिडेंस इज आल्सो बैड. ऑलवेज बी कॉन्फिडेंट. Okay,
Ma'am,
always
second
be
option, less
confident.
confidence. I have the less confidence.
No, you should not be less confident also, and you should not be more overconfident also, in fact. Okay, because overconfidence is also not good in your life. Okay, as a student or whatever you become in your life. Okay, so overconfidence is not good, and lack of confidence is also not good. Many times you get a job, many times you achieve something, many times you pass an interview because of your confident level. Okay, so always be confident in your life, whatever you answer, whatever you do. Okay, but always practice. Okay, as a student, always focus on all the things. Okay, formulas and some important points. Always
Yes, ma'am.
note
Like
down.
I have studied calculus, but I practice it every day so that I, don't
Yeah.
forget it.
In fact,
Calculus,
whatever,
trigonometry, all this stuff.
chemistry, everything. Just don't try to memorize and keep it somewhere. Try to write down and then
No, I
memorize
don't
it.
memorize it.
Because when you know, whenever you write down, whenever you note down things, note down points, the important points. I'm not telling you to write the whole definition full page. Okay, always write the point form. Okay, because when you write the points in your copy, when you note down them, then actually you are noting down in your brain. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so these are the some of the points that you have to. If you practice on these habits, then you're not going to fail. Okay, in whichever dream you have set. Maybe sometimes only it happens in from 100 to 10% only that they have set a dream and they're not able to focus on, they're not able to achieve that. Maybe luck or maybe something happens and they're not able to achieve. But if you have studied very nicely, if you have focused on your goal and you are very clear, so you are going to achieve one or the other thing. That is also the best one. Okay, so you're not going to be lacking behind. If you have studied properly, if you have focused on your goal, if you have given your 100%, then you're not going to be behind of anybody. Okay, sometimes we feel that हम ये नहीं कर पाए, लेकिन हम दूसरा जो करते हैं ना वो उससे ज्यादा लगता है. अभी जैसे अरम ने बोला that I want to be a teacher, I want to teach. So some may be thinking, oh, I want to go for IT. That is a good option. But actually, being a teacher, what you are becoming, if you are teaching at a very high level, okay, if you are in your teaching, you are writing a thesis and you're becoming scientist and all at that level. So what is the level? Okay, so choosing teaching is also not one, but you have to set your clear goal. Okay, always be focused. If you're a teacher, also be focused. Whatever you become in your life, okay, when you're very much focused, when you're giving 100% from that small level, also you can get a big goal. I tell you, many people when they start doing job after engineering, sometimes they find a very less job. They start getting only 10,000 when previously 3,000, 4,000, and after 5-6 years they start earning in lakhs. Okay, how? They actually try to, and always treat yourself as a student and learn whatever you see from bad things. Also try to grasp the good ones. Okay, because everywhere you will see learning part. Okay, if you watch a movie also, there's many things that you can grasp as a good thing. Okay, like inspiring movie. Whenever you watch inspiring movie, watch a biography, read biographies of good people, you will come to know many points that you should, how you have to live your life, how you have to focus on your goals. Okay, try to do that. Okay, and from today only, because from 9th, if you are very much focused, then your goals will not be far away from you. Okay, because from 9th the main things have started till now. Okay, so if you think that हम 11 से सोचेंगे कि अब हमें क्या करना है, जब हम सब्जेक्ट चूज कर लेंगे तब हमें क्या करना है, तो that will become very difficult for you. Okay, if you are very much focused today only, then you will be practicing that much hard today. Okay, understood everybody? So be very much focused and be very much confirmed that I have to do this, I have to achieve this, and I can achieve. Nothing is good, because the ones who are achieving